All right. Dodgers fall to the Padres tonight. They get crushed at home 10-2. And the Padres even this best of five series at a game apiece. Just a bad night. Wasn't fun. Wasn't good tonight. There's so many things that I can get into here. I really don't know where to start. Offense was bad again. Seems like this has been the story of kind of ever since Jack Flaherty's gotten here at the trade deadline. He's been okay, not great. And it happened again today. And of course, later in the game, you know, the incidents with the fans, it's just not a good look tonight. Ugly, ugly, ugly. This is literally one of those games where you just throw the tape out, forget about it, and worry and prepare for the next game. Um, the thing that I mentioned last night while I was doing the game one recap and reaction, I said, can I see this team come up in the bottom of the first in a scoreless game? Like is that too much to ask? And apparently it is because Tatis hit a home run into the Dodgers bullpen that got the game started, and it just these pitchers, man. Yamamoto did it yesterday. Now they won, so you forget about it. But this also happened in game two of last year with Bobby Miller, and this happened, of course, in game one last year against Kershaw. For some reason, these starting pitchers cannot give the offense a scoreless game going into the bottom of the first inning. Jack Flaherty pitched 5 and 1/3 of an inning, gave up 4 runs, a walk, and he gave up 2 strikeouts. Only had 2 strikeouts, and he gave up 2 home runs. He gave up one to Fernando Tatis Jr., and he gave up one to former Dodger David Peralta. Remember him? Um, he had a home run that made it 3-0 in the second inning. And even with all that, Dodgers still had their opportunities early in this game to cash in and do what they did last night. Um, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. This has to be said. Mookie Betts, god awful. This guy's struggling right now. And he's been struggling for now going on 3 straight postseasons. He's been bad in 2022. He's been bad in 2023. And he's been bad so far this year. This guy has not gotten a hit since, I believe, game 3 of the division series 2 years ago against San Diego. That's the last time Mookie Betts got a base hit in the postseason. That's embarrassing. Um, Immediately when I was leaving the stadium, I was thinking, you know what? If you really want to send a message to this team, why not sit Mookie Betts for game 3, at least to start, and give Andy Pajes a start and let him try? I know he's a rookie, but he's not afraid to let it loose. He's not afraid. But then, you think about it for a while. It's like, well, you still need Mookie's defense in there. And, as bad as he's been, he could easily, all it takes is for a guy like Mookie Betts is to get one, just see one go through, and he'll get going. And we thought that was going to be it today. Um, it looked like Mookie Betts had tied the game for a second in the bottom of the first inning, but then Jerickson Profar took it right back. And he never actually showed the ball in his glove. He was just taunting the Dodger fans sitting by the bullpen down the left field line. And in the moment, I thought it was gone. I think everybody in the building did, and I think even some of the players and even even you, Darvish, in the postgame show said he thought that that was a home run. But just horrible at bats, grounding, weak contact, hitting fly balls to the second baseman. Just it's becoming very frustrating to watch Mookie Betts perform in October. Freddie Freeman has done more than Mookie Betts this series, and he's been on one leg. And he had to get pulled from today's game due to right ankle soreness, which I guess the drugs started to wear off because, man, I don't think Freddie would want to come out of a game like that. But if he did, and that clearly must say that that ankle's really bothering him in that moment in time. Um, I think Mookie Betts needs to be put down in the order. Let Teoscar hit the 2-hole. He's earned it. He's actually gotten a couple hits in this series. And one of my keys to this series too. Now they basically threw in the white flag when Dave Roberts called to the bullpen and put in Michael Grove. They scored 3 runs in the eighth inning and scored 3 runs in the ninth inning. Now, listen, you can make a case at 4-1. The game was probably already over, but this offense wasn't given a chance. Now, granted, they were given many chances in the first couple innings, but can't do that. You cannot give up crooked numbers to this Padres team. And all the momentum that you had from winning game one, honestly, the game you probably should have lost because the Padres had some chances too and they couldn't deliver. You just gave that momentum right back to San Diego. And after what Tatis and Profar had to go through today with the fans, they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves knowing that they got 2 games at home. Not a fan of what some fans did today. Listen, you should never throw stuff on the field and you should never throw stuff towards players. That's not cool. I don't care what fan of a team you are. That's not cool. These players are humans too, and I said this to somebody. Profar and Tatis got to be careful too, and they're part to blame in this also. Whether you think I'm right or not, and listen, I'm not saying what those fans did in throwing stuff towards Tatis and throwing a ball back to Profar. I'm not saying what they did is okay. It's not. It's unacceptable behavior. But when you're out there, you know, going back and forth with the fans, taunting them, saying stuff, basically acting like a child. Don't get mad or don't start crying when fans start to retaliate. And listen, I'm gonna reiterate this again. Unacceptable behavior by the Dodger fans tonight. Not everybody, just a couple fans in general. Unacceptable. And you know, you just gave a bunch of bullet board material to this Padre team. They love being the underdogs. They love being the villains. And you just gave them something to go and run with it. And you've already heard it with guys like Profar. Our fans don't do that. We're classy, stuff like that. It's like, why would you play into their hand? That's probably one of the most frustrating things to come out of this night is that number one, those group of fans make everybody look bad. And listen, not every Dodger fan is like that. Listen, I know most people are probably not going to believe that because they're only going to believe one thing. They think every Dodger fan, is like that and starts fights and throws stuff at people. It's not true at all. But just a horrible look, and on top of it, you got your ass kicked tonight. Not a good night for the Dodgers. And now looking ahead to game 3 and now 4, you've got to figure out a way to do something that this Dodger team, not this exact same team, you've got to figure out a way to win one of these 2 games in Petco. Have to. If you can win 2 and end this series, that's the dream scenario. But I don't think that's happening. This Padres team is too damn good to lose 2 games at home. I believe. But I also don't think that. But I also do think the Dodgers are capable of winning one of these 2 games and bringing it back for a deciding game 5 on Friday. I really believe that. But um, Dodgers got to show me something on Tuesday. They got punched in the mouth pretty good today, and on top of the fans, you know, it was an awful night. Bad taste in their mouth. I challenge this team to respond on Tuesday night. The only good thing, the only positive thing about going into game 3 is that they're hitting first. They're going to get the first cracks at it because, of course, they're the road team. You know, these first 2 games, they've been down going into the bottom of the first inning. Maybe it's time for the Dodgers to flip the script on San Diego and score first in this series. They haven't done that yet. Forget not giving up, trying not to give up runs in the first inning or to the second bat of the game. They haven't they haven't they haven't scored first in this series yet. So I'm very anxious and interested to see how this team's going to respond on Tuesday because right now both sides are very heated right now. You got Jack Flaherty and Manny Machado going back and forth at each other during the game. Um, you know, like I said, and then you had Profar and Smith who have been pretty much bickering all year. They had a little moment again today during the game. So it's just a lot of bad blood, a lot of tension right now in both clubhouses. And we saw tonight how San Diego is going to do that. They're going to play the victim card, Our fans don't do that. We're the Padres, we're the underdogs. I want to see what the Dodgers can do. I'm going to keep reiterating this. Can't say that word. I'm going to keep restating this. How about that? Um, Dave Roberts said last week that no team would have more fight than them. They showed it Saturday night and pulled out a gutsy win to get the first game. But this is a little bit different. You're going into a hostile environment in San Diego. Those fans are going to be ready to go Tuesday night, especially after they split this series at Dodger Stadium. Let's see it. Let's really see if that message is going to play through those ears and guys in that clubhouse because, like I just mentioned, they got punched in the mouth. They got outperformed by Yu Darvish today. Everything was bad in the game. Shohei Ohtani was 0 for 4. But because he had the big game yesterday and won us pretty much the game, he gets a pass, and ironically, he gets a slap on the hand. But for a guy like Mookie Betts, who's making almost $350 million, for him to be 0 for the last 22 and plate appearances in the postseason, unacceptable. And of course, Freddie Freeman's status is uncertain for game 3 because he had to come out of the game during the middle of this game. Pitching matchups, Dave Roberts said it would be Walker Buehler. I don't think that's a shock. And I don't think San Diego has officially named a starter, but I think it will be Michael King. It will be. And I'm looking on the MLB app right now, and it does say Michael King. So we'll see. We'll see how this team comes out in game 3. But all the momentum that you had, now granted it was only for one game, but you just let San Diego take all the momentum right back. And it only took a couple innings. Really did. From the 6th, 7th inning on, they broke out and scored six runs in the last 2 innings. And then, of course, the incident with the fans and with Tatis and Profar. You just gave that momentum right back. And now you got to try and get that back. And as bad as he's been, as kind of shaky as he's been coming back from his second Tommy John surgery, Walker Buehler has finished the season very well. It seems like the last couple starts he kept getting better and better. And hopefully, and he pitched well against the same exact team a week ago. Now, hopefully, he can show some fight and show some guts. I'd put on one of those vintage Walker Buehler postseason performances like we've seen in years past. We'll see how it goes. Tuesday can't come soon enough. Talk to you again after game 3. Adios.